Hello, guys, and today I'm going to be talking about the free agency that happened a few days ago, where we saw a lot of big names go to new teams. And the first one from yesterday's free agency was Artemi Panarin. He goes to the New York Rangers for about $11.6 million a year, which is obviously overpaid. But I think the Rangers are definitely going to be a team to look out for next year in the regular season, and they definitely have improved drastically in just literally a month. They've grown through their prospect pool, but of course they have now a superstar winger that just got 87 points in 1819 with Columbus, and also had a pretty good playoffs, and the New York Rangers should be excited about getting a player in his caliber. Now, of course, he is not a second best player in the league. He is the second most paid player now, behind Connor McDavid. He is not even close to that. He's still arguably, maybe a top 15 player in the league, but he's nowhere close to that top 5 caliber. So again, free agency always gets overpayments. 2016 is one of the best examples. Milan Lucic, Louis Eriksson, all these players that get overpaid too much. If Panarin doesn't at least score 90 points, this is going to look already like a disastrous signing for the New York Rangers. So in my opinion, he has to score 90 points. He has to be that player, because this money is superstar money. Like, you have to be almost getting 90 points all the time. And he has to do other stuff too, because he can really change the whole team, because he is that good. But he isn't a $11 million player. I don't even think he's $10 million, to be honest. He should have got like a 9.5 contract, because Kucherov is obviously a much better player than Panarin, and Panarin got so much more money. So this is a very interesting signing. But again, I'm not surprised. There were rumors that he was going to get 12. The New York Islanders were offering him 12, I believe. So that is even more insane, getting 12 million. But again, that is the first signing of the free agent frenzy from yesterday. It was very exciting. The second signing was Sergei Bobrovsky. Now, was this another overpayment? Absolutely. It was $10 million a year, I believe, for 7 years. I can't remember the years, but I do remember mostly the money that was involved in most of these signings. I do remember a lot of it, and he is in the argument of the top 3 goalies in the NHL, and Sergei Bobrovsky obviously can do many things to change a team when they are in net. He can definitely change how the team looks on their back end with saving pucks and everything. Like Carey Price obviously makes the Habs defense always look better when he's on his game. That's basically what Bobrovsky can do. I don't think Florida's defense is perfect. Florida's defense is not close, really, to being a great defense. But if they and yes, they did sign Strowman as well. I'm not actually. I'm posting like the top biggest, I guess, the biggest, most interesting signings for really good players that happened. And this also doesn't include Sebastian Aho's offer sheet either. This is just the players I picked that I want to talk about that signed, because these are big names, and Sergei Bobrovsky obviously is one of those names. But again, even with Strowman going to Florida, I don't see their defense being a great defense. In fact, people always will point out the Leafs' defensive flaws, but people will never point out Florida's defensive flaws. Yes, their goaltending in 2018-19 was a train wreck, and Luongo sucked. He was injured, of course,
and Reimer was a disaster. Both were under 900, which you're not going to make the playoffs. When both your goalies are under 900 save percentage, and yes, definitely this is a good signing for Florida, but it's overpaid. Paid. I don't. If he doesn't, and again, if he's worth every penny, he better get at least. He better get nine. Like if he doesn't reach 925 save percentages, this is gonna be a disaster. If he doesn't at least have a 925 save percentage season, which he's capable of doing. This is and again, I knew he was probably gonna get 10 million. I knew he was probably gonna get that $10 million deal that a lot of big name like a big name goalie in his prime is probably gonna get really overpaid, and that's what happened. Dale Talon overpaid him, but for sure, in the first 3 years, this could look decent and work. He should be an elite goalie for Florida for 3 years. He should, but if he only has if he struggles in the third year, that's what I think you should be scared for. You should be scared for the third year. He still has to be good in that third year. Fourth, if he's still great by the fourth year, it still looks like at least a half decent contract. But if he's only putting up below 920 save percentage by that fourth year of the contract, it is going to be a disaster for the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers have to make sure that he is playing great for at least if he's great for 5 years of this contract, it's going to look like a very decent contract for the Florida Panthers, but I don't know that he's going to have 5 great years with Florida. I only think there's going to be 3 years where this contract has a chance to be good, and I don't know if it's going to last 4 years of being good. I really don't think this is a good deal, but they really did need Sergei Bobrovsky on Florida since they literally have no goalies that can play. Luongo's retired, and Reimer got traded to Carolina. What does this mean? They needed one of the big name goalies. They could have went after Leonard. They could have, but they decided to go after Sergei Bobrovsky. Sergei Bobrovsky is obviously the best goalie in the free agent class, but it is a risk to sign him to $10 million a year. And again, I don't think he should be getting that much money. But again, they needed Bobrovsky, though. They absolutely needed Bobrovsky. This is a great signing for the player, but for the Florida Panthers cap it, especially in the future. And I think now it's an overpayment for the Florida Panthers. Next up is the Chicago Blackhawks. The Chicago Blackhawks get one of the steals. The Chicago Blackhawks sign Robin Leonard to 1 year, $5 million, and now they have 3 good goalies? Really weird. It is really weird. It is really weird. It is a really weird signing, you could argue. But now, do they really have to worry? Do they have to worry really about their goaltending injuries? If Crawford gets, let's say Crawford gets injured, do they have to worry? What if Delia starts struggling as the fill-in goalie when Crawford's injured? It doesn't matter now since you have 2 goalies that can fill in for Crawford. You got absolutely unbelievable goaltending depth that can really help you in games after game after game. With again, I don't think their defense is good enough to do anything if they make the playoffs, which they definitely can with their goaltending. I don't think their defense is good. I don't think their defense is good enough to do much in a playoff series, but their goaltending can really their goaltending is really looking good, and I wouldn't bet against Leonard. Maybe being the starter, or maybe maybe the Hawks trade Crawford for like a really good defenseman. Maybe they actually go out and say, we have Leonard, we don't need Crawford. That's what could happen. What is his trade value at? I don't know, and it's probably not great. It's probably not great right now because of his injuries that he suffers in the past. Now he can't play full seasons anymore because of those injuries. Is Crawford going to retire? It's a very weird situation in Chicago, but they got Leonard. Lou Lamoriello didn't get Leonard, and I'm still baffled why Lou Lamoriello didn't sign Leonard. I am still baffled at that 100%. But now they got, you could say, 3 good goalies, and arguably right now, Leonard is the best goalie they have right now. It's arguable now. I think 1 year's good because you don't know what Leonard, you don't know if he's gonna be fluke. You don't know what if in Chicago he becomes like not as bad as he was in Buffalo, and yeah, he didn't have a defense in Buffalo. He had a really good structured system in Long Island, but he played his butt off and played really well. It wasn't just that system. Just like when Brodeur played in New Jersey, it wasn't just the system. He made great saves, and we'll see how Leonard does in Chicago. I think 1 year is how you do it because again, he only had 1 great year in his career. He had decent years in Ottawa as a backup to Anderson, was never a starter until Buffalo, and he sucked. And Long Island, he was amazing. So again, I hope he has a great year. Obviously, he's one of the heroes of the year. Obviously, Bill Masterson, unbelievable story, and I just hope he plays great. It would be so good if he played great. Put them into the playoffs. That would be another great story, and who knows? Maybe he wins the Vezina. I mean, it would be phenomenal. The next one is Andres Lee. He signed 7 years with the Islanders for 7 years, and this was gonna look funny if he actually went to free agency and said loyalty is one of the best qualities that a leader should have, and it looks like he did promise his loyalty on the last day before he could have went to another team. He signed 7 years with the New York Islanders, and there's not much to say other than he's a very good player. He can score goals all the time. He is a good leader. He can really lead by example and show. He can show how you do it. He can show, like, he can pass as well. He can do everything as a captain. He's not Tavares, but he's a good player. And 7 years for the Islanders for $7 million. It's a good deal for the New York Islanders. And the fifth one, and the second last, is Joe Pavelski. The second last one, Joe Pavelski. Another signing that Dallas made. Another signing yesterday that Dallas made was Corey Perry, which I really do kind of want Dallas to do well, and they did do well. And they did do well in the playoffs in 2019, but they obviously lost in 7 games. And they upgraded, and they got some toughness, maybe some dirtiness too. I mean, they got a Marchand on their hands in Corey Perry. But who else did they got? The Dallas Stars also, they got someone else. And his name is Joe Pavelski is not a superstar player. But what he is a player that got underpaid, in my opinion. And he can lead by example. He can lead you to success as a captain, as a leader, as a really good goal scorer. He can really you saw San Jose Sharks fans. He came back in Game 7, scored a goal in San Jose against Colorado, and the place went crazy. That's a definition of Joe Pavelski. If you want a definition, that basically is it. That is the definition of the leader and player Joe Pavelski is. If you aren't sold on Joe Pavelski, I mean, you don't know much about him and his game. Another player in this league that is obviously underrated because he is a great elite. He's not a superstar, but he is an elite star. I still think he's a star player. He may be a bit old now, but he's a star player that can put up points and he can put up easily 20 goals for the Dallas Stars, and instantaneously you have way more depth on that top six. You got a great player in Joe Pavelski. I think Dallas is set definitely for doing something in the playoffs this time, and getting a guy like Joe Pavelski, it's going to be so good for Dallas, and you have to be happy if you're a Stars fan yesterday. You just got to be pumped that you got a guy like this. This is the guy I think that can do it for Dallas. He's been to one final in 2016, not much success. He has been proven that he is one of the best leaders. He is also one of the best players in the league. He's proven as well, and I could be more happy for Dallas fans getting a guy like this. 3 years, it's going to be worth every penny, in my opinion. And last but not least, we got Matt Duchene signing 7 years in Nashville, and this was the perfect fit for Matt Duchene, in my opinion. Because again, this is the last one I pick. But this is definitely a fit for Matt Duchene. He loves country music. He can fit in their center depth. There are, have been, the past few centers have just basically died in Nashville. And respect to Ryan Johansson as he is a solid second line center. He was supposed to be a franchise center for them, and he hasn't done anything like that, despite him playing. He plays well as a center. He plays well, but he is not a top center on really any team in the league, in my opinion. Nashville, it looks like their center depth is pretty good without Duchene. And yet, none of their centers are actual star players, which is insane. Duchene is literally the star center of the team. Duchene, he isn't a great player. But Kevin Hayes getting that $7.1 million deal, of course Duchene is going to ask for $8 million at least. And that's what he gets in Nashville for a 7-year contract, which I think is a good deal. I think it's a good deal for David Poile and the Nashville Predators. I think this is a good deal. I think this is a good deal for the Nashville Predators. I honestly think, yep, this is the deal that they needed to get. They needed a center that could score at least 65 points, 75 points, which Duchene can, and score maybe 25. I think that this is definitely what Nashville needs, and I think they're going to go a long way with the signing. I think this is definitely I think this is for sure. This is 100% what basically Nashville needed, and they got Duchene. So, thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe for more daily content. I'm trying to talk hockey with the hockey community. Not many people know about my channel yet, and this is obviously my favorite game that I like to watch. So please subscribe for more daily content, and I'll talk to you all another video.